Hey, Dad.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
It's the next step from, we sat and we poured all the ingots. Now we're going to take them and turn them into the actual strands that we use to make jewelry out of. So I'm just going to show some of that process. So the first thing that we have to do is, because the metal is fresh out of the ingot mold, is it's a little bit hard and probably very brittle. So what we want to do is we really want to soften it down. And so the goal when you're annealing metal, really fine metal like gold and silver, is you want to get it till it's glowing red, but you don't want it to melt. And by getting it to glow red, you've got all those molecules inside the metal moving really, really fast. So they're all kind of joining together. See how that's glowing? Whew, how pretty. And then you take it and you quench it in water very quickly. And what that does is it softens up the metal. So now it's ready to be worked. So the next step to taking this and turning it into this is to use something called a rolling mill. And kind of a neat company. Most of your rolling mills are made by a company called Durston. They're out of the UK, but they make just a really beautiful rolling mill. And if you look here real close, you see all these different slots, and all these different slots are different sizes. And what we're doing is we're slowly working the metal down on each different size, making it smaller and smaller and smaller as we go. So each time I'm just, rolling this through, and I'm cranking this crank to make it just a little tighter and a little tighter.
Dad, so you're going from a round to a square. How do you make sure that works?
Oh, well, a rolling mill mostly, only works in square or a half round. A rolling mill really doesn't make round wire. I know there's some smaller ones that claim to, but you take the square wire from the rolling mill and we get it down almost to the size we need, and then we pull it through draw plates that make it round. But we'll get to that. Right, so every time I go through, I'm rotating it 90 degrees so that we keep making it smaller and smaller. I say gold is like silly putty. If you know how to work it, it's like clay. It's incredible. With the right tools, you can really just shape it and form it into whatever you need it to be.
Do it once or twice on either side, or how do you decide that?
I keep rotating back and forth to keep it square. So you do one with one, and then you rotate it just that little bit. And then run it through the next time. There's just a little bit of fracture right there, so evidently in part of the melting. So I'm just going to cut that off.
Why?
Because it's going to be a problem in the mill as we go through. I can already tell. All right, it's getting hard. All right, so I'm going to take this. It's coming nice. I'm not seeing any fracture lines. So far this pull is going really good. But now it's work hardened. By running it through this mill, it's gotten really hard again. So now I need it soft. So I'm going to go anneal it again.
And then we make it glowy again. So don't you need to see the light?
It helps. There, now it's done. Nice. Then we want to quench it right away. So now it's all soft again. So now we can take it and go back to the rolling mill. Each time I'm doing this, I'm going down another step. So we keep making it just a little bit smaller.
And that's what the thing on the top is doing, right?
Yeah, that's basically tightening these two rollers closer and closer together. So each time I make a little move with that, it's bringing them closer together, which is making the passage that the gold goes through smaller, thus making the actual gold thinner.
And this is 14 karat?
Yeah.
Is the rolling different for any other metals?
It's pretty much the same. So as you can see, each time I'm going through, it's getting just a little bit longer and just a little bit thinner. If we only had one of these for my tummy.
I don't think we want you to go through a rolling mill. Sounds painful.
All right, we're already like 5 grooves down. And you can notice the piece just keeps getting longer and thinner. It's kind of really cool. Almost like magic.
Wait, what are you doing?
I'm just doing this so it fits in my annealing bin. Because I need to anneal it now.
Oh, because it got work hardened.
Yes.
Hey, what are you splashing on it?
Oh, this is a combination of alcohol and boric acid. And it's obviously not an acid that's going to hurt you, or I wouldn't be sticking my fingers in it. But what it does is it makes it so melting, the biggest thing it does is prevents what they call fire scale, which is basically if I wouldn't put it on and I hit it with a torch, it's going to leave a heavy, thick, black sort of fire burns all over the metal. And then I got to clean all that off using steel wool or something. So by just putting the boric acid on it, it keeps the fire scale from forming.
Cool.
I know.
The fire scale sounds really cool.
Fire scale.
That's like a dragon-like name.
It does. Yeah, it's funny. I never even thought about it. You know, you do this for so many years and you hear terms. And, yeah, why would they call it a scale?
Right.
I would call it fire residue.
Well, fire burn.
Fire burn, fire damage. Even though it really doesn't damage it, you just have to get it all cleaned out. So again, what I'm doing is I'm just heating the metal, getting all those molecules moving quickly, and softening down so that I can continue. So, and I'm not saying a good example for this today.
Oh no, Chad.
True story. I had a ring and it had some little wires sticking off the top of it. It was in one of my holders and I was working it with a torch. And at one point there was a little wire I wanted clipped off. So I went like this and I clipped the wire. The wire shot up and went right into the white of my eye. Burning, scalding hot in my eye. I had to yell to my roommate at the time, help! And they came with tweezers and pulled it out of the white of my eye. So that was the worst. So always wear eye protection.
Like you're doing.
Well, I'm not clipping it, I'm smart. And I'm on camera, so I'm doing my, yes.
Oh,
But
that's
believe
awful.
me, whenever I'm grinding, cutting, anything like that, I always protect my eyes. But I was very lucky it didn't hit my retina and it healed up and so. But
it hurts so
well, it was a great teacher, you know. There it is. I had it. The rest I did that early on. I did that in the first 6 months I was doing this.
And you didn't give up.
It really was not smart. It's a pretty graphic story.
It is a graphic story. I didn't even know that one.
Oh yeah.
Don't stick things in your eyes.
No, that was really, really early on. That was a great early lesson. This is a great workout, by the way. Upper body. Who needs to go to the gym? Just make gold.
Yeah, because that's what most people do. I know, I just make gold whenever I feel like it.
Okay, we're getting way down there. We're almost at the point now where we're going to switch over to the draw plate. But look at how long this is. We've gone from 3 inches all the way down.
Ooh, okay.
Now, there's a story that talks about gold. Gold is so malleable, and y'all can check this, I don't know, but I think it's right. But they say gold is so malleable that you can take an ounce of gold and flatten it out enough to cover a football field. It is so, you can just keep going down and down and down to the thinnest of plates. All right, so look at that. So at this point, we no longer need the rolling mill. But again, it's hard. We're gonna have to soften it. Now, in order to fit it inside the annealing pan, I have to round it out, but it's still pretty hard. So before I
Springy that
start,
is.
yeah, well, you actually used a really good word.
Yeah.
Because when you're hardening metals, one of the type of hardness is called spring hard, and that's really hard, and that's how they make springs. You can actually store energy.
We don't work with spring hard often though.
No.
It's my favorite part is to watch it like melt down. I always like to watch to do this.
Yeah. So this is a graphite rod, and basically it won't burn. So as I go around, the metal starts softening, and you'll actually see it go down here. There you go. See how it softens? Oh, yep, see? Now it's a little tricky because as it gets thinner, it gets harder to anneal because it's more likely that you're going to melt it. So it's all about being really careful, getting it all really hot to keeping from melting. And same thing, we quench it in water. All right, so now the next step is we're going to take this and we're going to run it through a draw plate. But because we want to make it smaller, this obviously won't fit in a draw plate hole.
You need to
So
explain what a draw plate is to people.
we will. We're about to get there. So the first thing I need to do is kind of sharpen that point a little bit. I'm going to round out the square edges, which in itself is going to make it smaller. You see that nice gold color underneath. All right, so wax, the reason that I'm putting wax on this is because it can actually act as a lubricant. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be pulling this square wire through a round draw plate and basically making it smaller and making it round. And what's going to happen is we need a little bit of lubrication to help that move through. And one of the best metals, of course, one of the best things for that is
Candle wax.
So now first thing I do is kind of find the biggest hole that goes all the way through, and then we're going to start working down just one at a time. Each one of these holes is slightly smaller and is round. So as I pull it through, it's making the wire round and smaller. And today we're going to be making 18 gauge wire. It's 1 millimeter. So we're way up here at 1.4. We got to work it all the way down to that to be the gauge that I want. And again, it got hard just in those few steps.
How
So
can you tell it got hard that quickly?
because I can feel it. I'm pulling it.
Oh.
So again, a lot of the same process, and all we're doing is we're softening the metal yet again.
It never gets boring.
Use a slightly softer flame because now the metal's getting thinner and thinner, and the chances of it melting rise. So this is a special type of stone. It's like, I think it's like a type of volcanic stone. And it holds heat is what it does, is why it's called pumice. And we use this for annealing because it holds the heat. Look at that, beautiful.
Yeah, we're close. Almost done. Oh.
Well, yeah, of course we're going smaller and smaller, so we have to keep making our starting point smaller so it fits through the hole. All right. So So I'm gonna stop right there because this is the gauge that I need for the project I'm working on. And now I'm gonna take this, I will anneal it one more time to make it soft enough for me to work with. But essentially we've taken this and turned it into this. And with this, I can now make rings.